No, I really should be out with our customers. What's going on here?
Look, let me tell you why I've called you in here. I just got a phone call from Bob Reynolds, the CEO of Bay Credit. He's livid. Quite frankly, I'm almost the same. He says we've installed people out there now for 4 or 5 weeks instead of the 1 or 2 we told him. We've crashed their server twice. Our application, let me finish. Our application only runs about 80% of the time. He's got his legal people on the phone with me. He's withholding the last payment. He's threatening legal action. Why can't we get something installed and running in time?
I was given a schedule to install the product. I was given 9 weeks to not install it, but to get it ready for installation. At the end of 9 weeks, I said the product wasn't ready yet, but you promised 9 weeks.
Look, we had signed a contract. You knew about this 9 weeks earlier. You could have got to work on it sooner.
Why was that ready in 9 weeks?
Because we've never delivered in 9 weeks. We've never been able to get a product together with new features in 9 weeks.
Well, then why did you promise 9 weeks?
We have to be able to, because, you know, our reputation's going to hell here. People are beginning to pad their schedule. They needed it by this date. That was the only way we could get that deal. And you wanted that deal as much as I did.
We all wanted that deal. That's our income. That's your salary, my salary, your salary.
So,
you know,
why don't you get out there and help with the installation then?
I don't have people for doing that kind of thing.
Well,
and that's enough that I have to do all the features you're throwing at me all the time.
If you weren't working on all these new features, you could at least, today we got to focus on the current product and making it work for our current customers, or we won't have any future customers.
Folks, we're not going to have any future jobs if we don't get this problem solved. Now, I'm going to call Bob and see if I can get you clowns another couple of weeks here to solve this problem, but I want it solved, and soon. Now, give me an update at the end of the day on where you're at.
I think he's mad.
It's not working at all.
Let's do an update on where we are with the Bay Credit.
Yeah, and I hear he's already gone and gotten another contract, another 9.5-week contract.
You asked me to increase sales. We're under increasing pressure to deliver quickly. We don't get the deals otherwise. And our sinking reputation is only making that worse.
Guys, let me stop you for a second. Seems like we've been here before.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I'll be frank with you. Yesterday when we got into it around Bay Credit, I was not real proud of my behavior. It was not my highest self. But I get pretty angry. It seems like we're coming back to the same kind of situation over and over. I've done a little reading about something that I think might be useful, because I think that we got a problem we're just not used to dealing with, and we're going about it the wrong way. So I'd like to just kind of ask you to kind of stop and take a deep breath and sit back for a second and try something a little different. I'd like to if you could just talk, just from your perspective, what you're trying to do, what the goals are you're going after, why, sort of how the world looks from your perspective. And let me ask you just to listen and not jump in for a second.
Okay.
So just briefly, recap for us. What's driving you?
I'm trying to go out there and sell to credit unions.
Okay.
And they're concerned about getting it installed by a certain date. Our competition keeps trumping us by promising shorter time periods.
Okay, so you feel compelled to offer the short time,
well,
9 weeks, 9.5.
That seems to be an important discriminator between their proposals and ours.
Okay.
And if I don't match or better them, which I'd love to do, we're going to lose the deals. So we don't have a choice. We have to pitch.
So it makes perfect sense that you're promising a pretty aggressive schedule. Doesn't seem like you have any options.
I'd love not to be able to have to.
Okay.
Right, but that's not in the cards.
Thank you. Let me hear from engineering side. So what drives you? What are you going after?
Typical engineering stuff. We want to produce a quality product.
Okay.
We want to keep putting in new features so we can help him remain competitive out there. We try to make the delivery dates, but we've shown time and again that it takes 10 to 11 weeks to get the product built up before installation. If we ship stuff out early, we're going to have to cut corners. We're going to have to ship without documentation. The help files won't be ready. In some cases, no final test, and we don't ship a quality product that way.
So it makes perfect sense for you to push the schedule out to 10 or 11 in order to have that quality product that works
with all the features.
Okay. Guys, this is what, I think this is a dilemma. I don't think we've ever thought about it that way before. Because what I'm hearing is that on the one hand, if we're gonna be responsive to the marketplace and we're gonna be successful in our sales, we have to promise pretty short schedules. But on the other hand, when we have a short schedule like that, we can't deliver the quality product we want to. It's not gonna be fully documented, it may not work right off the bat. That sullies your reputation. You have to promise shorter and shorter schedules just to compensate for the
got it.
fact that the word is out that the last one didn't work. Okay, which puts you further into a bind. So it seems like both of you have to win. You gotta have a quality product.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah, yeah.
have an aggressive position in the marketplace, but it seems like the harder you do your job, the worse you make it
Is
for
that what you
him.
mean by a dilemma, that you got
Yes.
two totally different sides here?
And the harder you work at your job, the worse you make it for him.
No, we ain't, well,
So how are we supposed to break out of this behavior and do something different?
We don't get it by you only worrying about sales and you only worrying about engineering.
So that's my job,
I know, and I set that up, and that's part of the problem.
all right?
I think we're gonna have to understand a lot better how your world affects his and how your world affects his. Right now, what I see is kind of lobbing grenades back and forth.
you have to talk to him?
Well, I hate to break it
All
to
you do is yell.
Yeah, that's the point. What, right now, the two of you are positioned, so all you can do is yell at each other, and that's the last thing we need. And haven't we been doing that now for months, quarters?
right.
So is there something we're gonna do specifically?
We're gonna do something different. I've been doing some reading. I'm gonna ask each of you to read something. We're gonna get together with someone who knows this better than I do, because I'm kind of making it up as I go
Okay,
along.
yeah.
And I'm gonna ask him to kind of walk it through, thinking a little different.
Oh, is that what this is?
That's the article I'm gonna ask you to read.
Okay,
All right,
I
well,
know you got pressing problems.
I'm willing to try something different because you might be right. This
Yeah.
isn't really working.
I'll read it.
It ain't working. I mean,
How
that's
much time
real.
do I have to,
Let's get together tomorrow morning and do this again.
All right,
all right?
Okay,
well, I'll take my homework.
okay, thanks, guys. We'll talk tomorrow morning. All righty.